Hello and welcome, learners. Today we explore the topic radio as an instrument of propaganda during the World War II. I am Manisha Upadhyay, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Mangalayatan University. First of all, thank you for all of you for watching my videos regularly. So now we start this video lecture. Learners, during World War II, radio emerged as a powerful instrument of propaganda, playing a vital role in shaping public opinion and influencing the masses on a global scale. Governments and military forces recognized the immense potential of this new medium and utilized it extensively to disseminate their broadcast reached a, uh, a vast audience transcending borders and language barriers, allowing propagandists to sway public perception, bluster nationalism, and demonize the enemy. Famous leaders like Adolf Hitler, through his mesmerizing speeches, harnessed uh, radio to manipulate emotions and rally support for the Nazi cause. Similarly, Allied nations utilized radio to boost morale, counter enemy propaganda, and promote their wartime objectives. The intense rivalry between conflicting ideologies turned radio waves into a battleground of information, misinformation, and persuasion, leaving an indelible mark on the history of media propaganda during this tumultuous era. These are the objectives of this topic. Radio played a crucial role as an instrument of propaganda during World War II, shaping public opinion, disseminating information, and influencing the masses. Here are some main objectives of radio propaganda during that period. Mobilizing of public support. One of the primary objectives of a radio propaganda during World War II was to mobilize public support for the war effort. Radio broadcasts were used to rally the citizens of the involved countries behind their respective governments and create a sense of national unity and patriotism. Through emotional appeals, stirring speeches, and patriotic music, radio aimed to motivate the population to contribute to the war in various ways, such as enlisting in the military, participating in war related industries, or supporting war bonds drives. Dissemination of ideological messages. Radio was utilized to spread ideological messages that reinforce the government's narrative and uh, demonized the enemy. Propaganda emphasized the virtues of one's own nation while portraying the enemy as brutal, aggressive, and evil. Aim was to build a strong us versus them mentality, portraying the conflict as a struggle between good and evil, thereby justifying the war and garnering support for the war effort. Censorship and control of information. Governments used radio propaganda to control and manipulate information available to the public. They tightly controlled what news was broadcasted, ensuring that only favorable news about their own side and negative news about the enemy reached the public. This allowed them to shape the perception of events and maintain morale even during difficult times or setbacks. Psychological warfare. This is the objective of this topic. Radio propaganda was employed as a psychological weapon to create fear, confusion, and demoralization uh, among the enemy population. Radio stations broadcasted messages designed to undermine the enemy's confidence in their leadership, so doubt about the righteousness of their cause and encourage dissent of defection. Psychological warfare aim to weaken the enemy's resolves and contribute to the overall war effort. So it's important to note that radio propaganda during World War II was a powerful tool in shaping public opinion and had significant consequences in influencing the outcome of the war. However, it also had ethical implications as it often involved manipulation and deception to achieve its objectives. As I start about radio as an instrument of propaganda, first of all, you should know about World War II. World War II, which lasted from 1939 to 1945, was one of the most significant and devastating conflicts in human history. It involved the majority of the world's nations divided into two opposing military alliances. The allies, led by the United States and the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union, among others, and the Axis powers primarily led by the Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan, and Italy. The war was sparked by Adolf Hitler's aggressive expansionist policies leading to Germany's invasion of Poland in September 1939. This act prompted the Allies to respond with declarations of war, marking the beginning of the global conflagration. Over the next 6 years, the war took a tremendous toll on civilian lives and military personnel, resulting in an estimated 85 million deaths. The Axis powers carried out systematic genocide, most notably the Holocaust, which saw the extermination of 6 million Jews and millions of others deemed undesirable by the Nazis. However, amidst the horrors of war, acts of heroism and courage also emerged, with countless individuals and communities uniting to resist tyranny and uphold the values of liberty, justice, and freedom. The Allies launched numerous strategic campaigns such as the D-Day landing in Normandy, the Pacific Island Hoping Campaign, and the Eastern Front Offensive, which ultimately led to the defeat of the Axis powers. In 1945, the war culminated with the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the United States, hastening Japan's surrender. This cataclysmic conflict ultimately led to the creation of the United Nations, aiming to promote international cooperation and prevent future global conflicts. World War II's immense impact on the world resonates to this day.
serving as a reminder of the importance of diplomacy, tolerance, and learning from history to ensure that such a devastating chapter is never repeated. It stands as a testament to the resilience of humanity, highlighting the need to strive for peace and mutual understanding among nations and peoples worldwide. Now we are talking about radio as an instrument of propaganda during World War II. Radio played a crucial role as a powerful tool of propaganda during World War II. Governments and warring parties on all sides recognized its potential to disseminate information, manipulate public opinion, and bolster their respective war efforts. In this lecture, we will explore eight key points detailing how radio was effectively used as an instrument of propaganda during this tumultuous period.
Establishment of state controlled broadcasting. At the outset of World War II, many countries established state controlled broadcasting systems to ensure their messages reach to the masses. Governments gained direct control over the content broadcasted on the radio, using it to promote nationalistic fervor, demonize the enemy, and rally public support for the war effort. By tightly controlling information, these governments could manipulate public opinion and maintain a unified front. The establishment of state controlled broadcasting refers to the creation of a broadcasting system that is owned, regulated and operated by the government of a particular country or state. In this model, the state exercises significant control over the content and distribution of media, including radio and television broadcasts. State controlled broadcasting systems vary widely in terms of their scope, level of government control, and the degree of editorial independence they allow. Some countries have a completely state run media with this strict censorship and propaganda promoting government agendas, while others may have a mixed model with both state controlled and privately owned media outlets.
Advantages of state controlled broadcasting. Government influence. State controlled broadcasting allows the government to control the narrative and information disseminated to the public, which can help shape public opinion and promote government policies and initiatives. National unity and identity. It can be used to foster a sense of national unity and identity by emphasizing shared values, culture, and history. Public service broadcasting, state controlled broadcasters may prioritize public service content, educational programming, and coverage of national events, which may not be financially viable for private broadcasters. Next one is regulating media content. Governments can use state controlled broadcasting to regulate and enforce standards for media content, ensuring that it aligns with societal norms and values. Now, this is the disadvantages of state controlled broadcasting: lack of pluralism and diversity. State controlled media often lack of pluralism and diversity of viewpoints, as they are more likely to promote the government's perspective while marginalizing alternative opinions. Next one is censorship and propaganda. Governments may use state controlled media to censor information, suppress dissenting voices, and propagate their own political agendas, leading to limited freedom of the press and restricted access to unbiased information. Loss of press freedom, the government's control over broadcasting can lead to restriction on press freedom, undermining democracy and accountability. Mislocation of resources. In some cases, state controlled broadcasting might receive disproportionate funding and resources compared to other critical sectors, resulting in efficient use of public funds. And trust issues also. Due to the perception of state interference, audiences may question the credibility and objectivity of state controlled media, leading to reduced trust in the information provided. Nazi Germany's propaganda machine. Perhaps the most famous example of radio propaganda was the Nazi regime's highly orchestrated use of broadcasting under the direction of Joseph Goebbels. The Ministry of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda controlled all aspects of media, including radio. The Nazis used radio to spread their racist ideology, anti Semitic beliefs, and glorification of the German military, presenting a skewed and favorable image of their actions on the battlefield. Learners, as we discuss about the disadvantages and advantages of broadcasting, it is essential to strike a balance between the advantages of state controlled broadcasting, such as promoting public interest content and national unity, and the disadvantages related to media freedom, pluralism, and credibility. Many democratic societies seek to maintain a diverse media landscape with a mix of state, private, and independent media organizations to foster freedom of the press and ensure a plurality of viewpoints. So, you know that the Nazis' propaganda machine, so radio included with press. Allied counter propaganda. Recognize the power of radio. The Allied forces also utilized this medium to counter Nazi propaganda and boost morale among their own populations. The British Broadcasting Corporation, you know that, in short, BBC, played a significant role in this regard, broadcasting news, patriotic speeches, and music to keep the public informed and motivated. Now, radio's impact on the home front. Radio became an essential part of daily life during the war, and its impact on the home front was profound. Families gathered around their radios to listen to war updates, speeches from leaders, and personal stories of soldiers. These broadcasts fostered a sense of national unity, providing emotional support to those whose loved ones were fighting overseas. Here are some key aspects of radio's impact on the home front during World War II. The aspect is news and information dissemination. Radio was the fastest and most reliable means of receiving news updates during the war. Families would gather around their radio sets to listen the latest developments on the battlefield, updates on troop movements, and reports from war correspondents. Radio broadcasts also provided critical information about rationing, war-bound campaigns, and civilian defense efforts. Propaganda and war effort promotion. Governments on both sides use radio as a tool for propaganda to relay support for the war effort. Countries like the United States and the United Kingdom used radio broadcast to boost morale, encourage patriotism, and garner public support for the military and war industries. On the other side, Axis powers employed radio for spreading their ideologies and promoting nationalism, entertainment, and escapism. Despite the grim reality of war, radio provided much needed entertainment and escapism for civilians. Popular radio shows, comedy programs, variety shows, and dramas helped people temporarily forget about their anxieties and fears, providing a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos. War bond drives. Radio played a significant role in promoting war bond drives to finance the war effort. Celebrities and public figures participated in radio broadcasts to encourage citizens to buy war bonds, which were essential for funding military operations. Correspondents and embedded reporters. Radio correspondents were often embedded with military units, providing real time reports from the front lines. These broadcasts brought the war closer to the home front, allowing listeners to gain insights into the experiences of soldiers and the challenges they faced. Addressing fear and anxiety. Radio broadcasts often included messages from leaders and government officials to reassure the public during times of crisis. These broadcasts aim to alleviate fear and anxiety while providing information on the evacuation procedures and safety measures during air raids. Next, censorship and surveillances. Governments closely monitored radio broadcasts during the war to ensure that no sensitive or classified information was leaked. Censorship was implemented to prevent the dissemination of any news that might aid the enemy or damage morale. Changing social dynamics. The shared experience of listening to the radio brought people together and fostered a sense of unity and a national identity. Families and communities gathered around their radios to listen to news and entertainment, reinforcing the ideas of beginning in the war effort together. So, uh, in short, radio's impact on the home front during World War II was far reaching and multifaceted. It served as a crucial medium of disseminating information, promoting propaganda, and boosting morale. Through radio broadcast, the war became a shared experience for millions, influencing public opinion and shaping the course of the conflict on the home front. Dissemination of war related information. Radio stations not only propagated ideologies but also served as the primary source of war related information. This included casualty reports, progress on the battlefield, and updates on diplomatic efforts. However, governments often control the narrative to maintain public morale and conceal favorable news. Psychological warfare was a crucial aspect of radio propaganda during World War II. Broadcast targeting enemy territories aimed to demoralize enemy soldiers and civilians. So discord within enemy ranks and encourage surrender. These broadcasts often included disinformation, exaggeration of enemy losses, and predictions of impending defeat. As we discuss about the points of us discuss about the points about the radio tools of propaganda. So this is the one. Occupying forces frequently exploited radio to exert control over conquered territories. Nazi Germany, for instance, established stations in occupied uh, Europe to spread propaganda, suppress resistance movements, and enforce obedience to the occupying power. These stations often broadcasted in the local languages, making the message more accessible and effective. Impact of radio on post-war society. The extensive use of radio propaganda during World War II left a lasting impact on post-war societies. It highlighted the power of media to shape public opinion and led to increased regulation of broadcasting to prevent future misuse. Additionally, it paved the way for advancement in mass communication, eventually leading to the development of television as the next dominant medium for propaganda. The impact of radio on post World War II society was profound and far reaching. After the war, radio played a crucial role in shaping and transforming various aspects of culture, politics, entertainment, and communication. These the key ways in which radio influenced post-war society, mass communication, and information dissemination. Radio became one of the primary sources of news and information for the general public. It provided real time updates on significant events, allowing people to stay informed about local, national, and international developments. This increased accessibility to information helped create a more informed and engaged citizenry. Entertainment and popular culture. Radio was the dominant form of entertainment during the post war era. Families would gather around their radios to listen to popular shows, music programs, dramas, and comedy performances. Radio brought people together and played a central role in shaping popular culture. Next one is political influence. Radio played a significant role in political campaigns and messaging. Political leaders used to radio to communicate directly with the public, allowing them to reach a broader audience and shape public opinion more effectively. This influence extended to discussions on important social issues, fostering debates and discussions that shaped public policy. Advertising and consumerism. With the rise of radio, advertising became an essential aspect of the medium. Advertisers recognized the power of radio to reach a large audience, leading to the development of the radio advertising industry. This contributed to the growth of consumerism and the rise of a more consumer driven society. Next one is the regional and cultural diversity. Radio provided a platform for diverse voices and regional cultures. Different regions and communities could share their music, stories, and perspectives, contributing to a sense of national unity while celebrating regional differences. Technological advancement. The development of radio technology during and after the war paved the way for further advancement to communication and broadcasting. This laid the groundwork for the eventual rise of television and other electronic media, fostering a shared experience. radio broadcast, especially of a major events and important speeches, brought people together in shared experiences. For instance, the moon landing in 1969 was experienced by millions through radio broadcasts, creating a sense of unity and national pride. Propaganda and public opinion. During the war, radio was extensively used for propaganda purposes. After the war, there was increased awareness of the power of radio in shaping public opinion, which led to discussions on media ethics and the need for objective reporting. War progressed. The credibility of some propaganda broadcast came into questions, leading the uh, capitalism and critical analysis by audiences. Furthermore, advancement in technology and the emergence of other mass media platforms, such as newspapers and cinema, also diluted the exclusive influence of radio over time. Nevertheless, the impact of radio propaganda during World War II cannot be understood. Nevertheless, the impact of radio propaganda during World War II cannot be understated. It left a lasting impression on the way information was disseminated during times of conflict and influenced the development of modern media strategies in subsequent wars and geopolitical events. As history continues to evolve, it is essential to study and learn from these past experiences to guard against the misuse of media and communication for propagandistic purpose in the future. By critically engaging with media messages and fostering a media literate society, we can better safeguard against manipulation and ensure that the power of communication is harnessed responsibly for the greater good.
Learners, during World War II, radio emerged as a potent instrument of propaganda, uh, wielding significant influence on public opinion and shaping the narrative of the conflict. Governments and military forces utilized radio broadcast to manipulate information, control the masses, and rally support for their respective causes. With its wide reach and ability to penetrate homes across the globe, radio proved to be a formidable tool in disseminating propaganda messages laden with the misinformation and emotional appeals, whether through news broadcast, speeches, or entertainment programs. Propaganda on the radio aimed to demonize, however, this manipulation of information also raised ethical concerns as the line between truth and fabrication blurred. World War II serves as a stark reminder of the immense power of media in molding public perception and underscores the importance of critical media literacy in discerning truth from propaganda. So learners, thank you for your attention. We will meet in next video lecture to discuss another topic of this subject. So stay tuned and enjoy the day. Goodbye.